Joel Osteen, the senior pastor of Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas, which stands as the largest church in the United States, and a well-known author, has become a beacon of hope and inspiration for millions of people globally. However, recent heartbreaking news has struck his family and tested his own faith in the face of an unimaginable tragedy. This turn of events is a reminder that even those who spread hope are not immune to personal hardship and emotional challenges. To learn more about what has occurred in Joel Osteen's life, stay tuned as we explore this deeper. Before delving into the difficult news affecting his family, it is important to reflect on Joel Osteen's early life and the unique journey that led him to becoming one of the most prominent Christian figures of this century. Joel Osteen was born in Houston, Texas, in 1963 as the youngest of 6 children. His parents, John Osteen and Dolores Pilgrim, played a foundational role in shaping his early years. His father, John, had originally been ordained as a Southern Baptist pastor but made the monumental decision to break away from the Southern Baptist denomination in 1958. Just 1 year later, he started Lakewood Church, an independent non-denominational church in an abandoned feed store in Northeast Houston. Joel's early education took him to Humble High School, from which he graduated in 1981. He went on to attend Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where he studied radio and television communications but did not complete his degree. Despite not finishing his formal education, Joel's path eventually intersected with the media world, something that would play a major role in his future ministry. From 1982 to 1999, Joel worked behind the scenes producing the church's television ministry. Even though his family had established a strong presence in ministry, Joel was initially not seen as someone who would take the mantle as head pastor. While his siblings and in-laws actively participated on stage as preachers, Joel, the more introverted member of the family, preferred working behind the camera. He ran Lakewood's media department for over 16 years, perfecting the lighting, directing the cameramen, and ensuring the church's broadcasts were professional and polished. On Saturdays, he would visit his father's home to choose his wardrobe for Sunday services, track which sermon outfits were worn, and provide notes on how his father should move for the camera to capture that perfect moment. Despite his deep involvement in the media ministry, Joel initially had no intention of ever stepping up to preach. His father, however, had asked him hundreds of times over the years to take on the role of preacher, and Joel continually refused. That is until his father, who had fallen ill, asked once again in 1999. When his father was struggling with health issues, Joel agreed to step in. It was only a few days after Joel delivered his first sermon that tragedy struck. His father passed away suddenly, leaving a hole in the ministry that Joel had not anticipated filling. It was in those difficult days when the reality of his father's passing began to settle that Joel felt an unexpected and deep calling to take up the mantle. In a 2013 interview, Joel admitted that despite the grief and uncertainty, he felt a strong desire to step up and lead the church, even though he had not been formally trained in ministry. "It didn't really make sense," Joel said in the interview. "I hadn't gone to seminary. I had only ministered one time. I never dreamed the ministry would grow, but 14 years later, here we are today." Upon assuming the role of head pastor, Joel Osteen quickly proved to be an astute leader who saw the value of expanding the church's media presence. Lakewood Church grew exponentially under Joel's leadership, becoming the largest and fastest-growing church in the United States. He not only purchased billboards and advertisements to increase the church's visibility, but also focused on strategically negotiating television air slots, expanding into global media markets, and reaching millions of households worldwide. His church's weekly broadcasts soon reached over 100 countries, making Lakewood Church a household name for believers seeking hope and encouragement. In addition to building Lakewood's international media presence, Joel's best-selling books played a crucial role in cementing his place as a global faith leader. His 2004 book Your Best Life Now, which outlined 7 practical steps to live life to its fullest, became a monumental success. Soon after, Joel embarked on a nationwide tour, preaching to thousands across major U.S. cities. In 2005, Lakewood Church moved to a massive new building, the former Compaq Center, which was rebranded as the church's new 16,000-seat megachurch. This move allowed Lakewood to accommodate the growing number of members flocking to the church, with attendance reaching over 50,000 by 2016. Joel's televised services also became some of the most watched religious programs in the world, attracting an estimated 10 million viewers every week by 2018. Despite his global influence, Osteen's preaching style has not been without criticism. While some people have embraced his messages of positivity, self-improvement, and motivational advice, others believe his approach may overly simplify Christianity and strip it of its deeper theological teachings. Osteen's prosperity gospel, the belief that faith can lead to personal success, including wealth, has sparked particularly strong debates. Critics argue that this gospel distorts traditional Christian teachings, encouraging believers to focus on material wealth rather than spiritual growth. This focus on wealth, they claim, can also perpetuate an unhealthy emphasis on individual prosperity to the detriment of the poor and disadvantaged. Moreover, critics from both Protestant and Catholic perspectives argue that this form of theology essentially blames people for their misfortunes and can be used to exploit the vulnerable emotionally and financially. Though controversial, Joel's teachings and lifestyle continue to resonate with millions, with his ministry expanding across borders and reaching global audiences. His relationship with his wife, Victoria Osteen, has also garnered public attention. The couple, who married in 1987, have now been married for over 30 years and have 2 children, Jonathan and Alexandra Osteen. However, their high-profile relationship faced scrutiny when Victoria was accused of assaulting a flight attendant in 2008. An incident that occurred on a 2005 flight from Texas to Colorado led to a lawsuit filed by attendant Sharon Brown, claiming Victoria had verbally and physically abused her after failing to immediately clean up a spill from Victoria's armrest. Though these personal controversies impacted the Osteen family's image, Joel and Victoria continued leading Lakewood Church with steadfast dedication. Joel's journey, though marked by controversy, has been characterized by a commitment to hope, faith, and service to others. His ability to build a global community of believers and spread his message of encouragement and transformation has earned him a significant place in Christian leadership. Even as his teachings spark debate and criticism, the challenges that Joel and his family have faced, both personally and professionally, have shaped his character and ministry, leaving an indelible impact on the church and its followers. Joel Osteen, the senior pastor of Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas, which stands as the largest church in the United States, and a well-known author, has become a beacon of hope and inspiration for millions globally. However, recent heartbreaking news has struck his family and tested his own faith in the face of an unimaginable tragedy. This turn of events is a reminder that even those who spread hope are not immune to personal hardship and emotional challenges. In his interpretation of Scripture, Osteen emphasized that LGBTQ individuals are welcome in his church without judgment, a position that has led to criticisms from conservative Christians. These critics argue that by not condemning homosexuality outright, Osteen prioritizes cultural relevance over traditional Christian values. Further controversy arose when Victoria Osteen made comments in 2014 suggesting that Christianity is centered on self-happiness and that people worship God for their own personal satisfaction. Her words were met with fierce criticism from Christian writers who denounced her perspective as heretical and contrary to traditional Christian doctrine. Critics, such as Matt Walsh and Albert Mohler Jr., stated that her view misrepresents the core of Christianity, which focuses on overcoming sin, duty, and obedience rather than pursuing personal happiness. The backlash reflected ongoing concerns about the Osteen family's interpretation of Christian faith, with some accusing them of promoting a self-centered, prosperity-driven gospel. Despite these controversies, Joel Osteen's influence continues to be significant, though it remains divisive. His teachings and lifestyle have put him at the center of intense public scrutiny, especially after the recent shooting incident at Lakewood Church. This tragedy has forced him to navigate the complexities of faith leadership and public perception. Prominent evangelical leaders, including John MacArthur and Albert Mohler, publicly denounced Osteen's controversial statement about Mormonism. These respected figures in Christian theology strongly disagreed with Osteen's remark that Mormons could be classified as Christians, arguing that the fundamental differences between Mormon theology and traditional Christianity are vast and irreconcilable. Critics contend that Osteen's stance undermines the authority of the Bible, which they believe forms the foundation of Christian doctrine. His comment sparked a broader theological debate, with many evangelical leaders insisting that his interpretation compromised the traditional Christian understanding of the faith and undermined the importance of doctrinal purity within Christianity. In 2020, Osteen faced criticism during the coronavirus pandemic when it was revealed that Lakewood Church had received $4.4 million in Federal Paycheck Protection Program (PPP) funding. Although church officials claimed the money protected approximately 370 jobs, no concrete list of these jobs was made available. Despite Osteen's previous public denials of any government funding, data from the U.S. Small Business Administration revealed that his church had indeed benefited from federal assistance. This revelation fueled a public outcry as many questioned the ethics of a multi-million-dollar church accepting federal support intended for struggling small businesses. Critics, especially those advocating for fiscal responsibility and social justice, pointed to this incident as emblematic of questionable business practices employed by wealthy churches in the U.S. Adding to Osteen's controversies, his response to Hurricane Harvey in 2017 sparked significant backlash. Despite Lakewood Church's 16,000-seat capacity, it initially did not open its doors to victims of the hurricane, drawing criticism on social media. After mounting public pressure, Osteen reassured the community that the church would serve as a temporary shelter once local shelters reached capacity. By August 28, 2017, Lakewood Church finally opened its doors as a refuge for storm victims. The controversy surrounding Osteen's lifestyle, including his ownership of a private jet, remains a topic of public debate. Critics argue that his use of luxurious transportation contradicts Christian teachings of humility and selflessness. Supporters argue that the private jet is a practical necessity due to Osteen's extensive travel schedule for ministry purposes, including speaking engagements and outreach efforts. However, debates persist about whether Osteen's lifestyle aligns with his pastoral mission and Christian teachings. Osteen's message promoting simple joys, shared on social media, became a subject of criticism as social media users highlighted the contrast between his message and his luxurious lifestyle, including his opulent home and luxury vehicles. Despite public outcries, Osteen maintained that his focus remains on spreading positivity, faith, and hope. Joel and Victoria Osteen reside in a $12 million mansion in the wealthy River Oaks area of Houston, Texas. Contrary to assumptions, Joel Osteen does not take a formal salary from Lakewood Church but earns from book sales, media appearances, and endorsements. Despite his lack of formal theological training, Osteen's unique approach to preaching positivity and success has garnered him a massive following, while also drawing criticism from traditional religious circles. His media empire, blending spirituality and motivational speaking, has made him one of the richest pastors globally, with a net worth estimated at $100 million. The success of his ministry demonstrates the powerful intersection of media, faith, and wealth, igniting discussions about wealth ethics, prosperity gospel teachings, and religious leadership humility.